Welcome back to Deeper Diving's YouTube channel. I'm Gary, and today we're going to be looking at how do you buy the best dive computer for you in 2025. Now, dive computers range from just doing the basics to doing practically everything except making a cup of coffee. So how do you choose? Well, today we're breaking down exactly the features that you need versus the features that you might want, whether you're a new diver or whether you're planning for your first Deco dives. At its very core, a dive computer does three very basic functions. They tell you how deep you are, how long you've been there, and how much longer you can stay there before you have to ascend back to the surface. After that, that's where the differences start. I consider that there are 4 tiers of dive computers available on the market. At the bottom end, you have the budget. And there is nothing wrong with budget recreational dive computers. These are the pillars of what we all learn with. They're robust, they're hardworking, and they do exactly what it says on the tip. They tell you your depth, they tell you how long you've been there, and most importantly, they give you your no decompression limit and how much longer you've got before you need to come back up. Most of them are Nitrox capable, and they're no frills. The ones I like, the Cressy Leonardo, they only have one button. Long press to select, short press to go through the menus. Simple, you cannot go wrong. They're really easy to use, and they're ideal if you don't dive very often. And at around about 200 bucks, they're not a massive investment that's going to break the bank. Next up come what I consider to be your mid-range dive computers. And in this area, I would look at things like the Garmin G2, the Shearwater Peregrine, and possibly your Suunto D4, D6s. Here, they're quite often rechargeable, they're very durable, and some may even add air integration into the mix too. These are ideal for your more frequent divers and those people contemplating getting into diving as a career. The third group is what I would consider those tech-ready dive computers. These are now a lot more serious dive computers for those people who might be doing a little bit more. Here they have adjustable algorithms for your gradient factors so that you can adjust the conservancy to suit your personal needs and the type of diving that you're doing. They have bright, colourful screens, but they're also built for Deco, whereas at the budget level they'll tell you what to do up until the point you hit the Deco limit. For these dive computers, they'll help you plan beyond that limit and stay safe. They absolutely will have the ability to do air integration, but also will have, quite likely, a lot of your smartwatch features as well, linking to your phone, linking to your computer, and being able to download all the data that you are able to gather from your dives and compare it and contrast it with other things. Some of the features that you might find on a Garmin or an Apple Watch will be the integration with your phone, so you'll get your alerts and your messages as well, just fortunately not when you're diving. Is this all overkill? Well, maybe. Is it awesome? Absolutely. And then the fourth category are those that I consider to be your rebreather compatible devices. Now, a lot of rebreathers will have their own handsets designed by the manufacturer, but something like the Shearwater Petrel is used on a lot of rebreathers because it's a great dive computer that has partial pressure monitoring as well. So this will have a cable that will link into your PO2 sensors and be able to tell you what you're diving with, as in what gas mix you're diving with at the time that you're diving. And so these are really the gold standard for your dive computers, big chunky boxes that you might wear on your wrist. And that's because they need to have all those features because your life absolutely depends on it. Now, what we need to look at next is what features matter and what features matter to you. As whilst air integration might be really important to some people, for some others, they might say $300, $500, $700. I'd rather have a dive trip. And so for vacation divers, air integration may be not that important. For technical divers or people diving on side mount, it's a lot more valuable and has a lot more utility. There's also the different types of algorithm that you can use as well. Some people swear by RGBM. Some people prefer Bullman. It's a good idea to understand what the differences are and how adjustable they are. Now, for most beginner divers, something like RGBM as a model, as an algorithm in your dive computer is perfect. But of course, if you are planning to go tech or pushing the limits a little bit further, being able to plan your dives, RGBM's not the greatest for that. So Bullman becomes a much better algorithm to use. And the final thing to consider is future-proofing. Is it important as a new diver, as somebody with a tight budget, to go and spend $1,500 buying a top-of-the-range Garmin dive computer? Because you never know, you might grow into it. I'm going to tell you, don't. The reason why I'm going to tell you don't is because it's important that you buy the dive computer that's right for you right now. Why? Right now, you don't know whether you're going to love diving or whether you're going to hate diving in the not too distant future. And so if you schleck out $1,500 on a dive computer, which you might make a 50% loss on, that's going to smart a bit. If you buy a $200 dive computer and you lose 50% of the value in a year, so it costs you $100. No worries, I can afford that. But $750 is a sizable chunk of cash to lose in the event that you change your mind on diving. But it's also the diving you might be interested in today, and the type of diving you think you might be interested in the future changes over time. I know a gentleman who was very keen on recreational diving, very keen on becoming a dive instructor, and then discovered caves. Now doesn't ever dive on a reef, barely ever dives recreationally, but always dives in a hole in the ground. And so as a result, all the equipment that he once purchased is now for sale. So I guess my final recommendations: if you're a casual diver, somebody diving on a budget, then something like the Cressi Leonardo, the Sunto Zoop, the Maris Puck are probably ideal computers for you. If you're a more frequent traveler, then something like the Garmin Descent G2 or the Shearwater Peregrine will probably be right up your alley. They've got clear displays, nice and colourful, lots of features, and are rechargeable too. But if you're tech curious, thinking about what the next steps are, then a full form factor dive computer like the Shearwater Peregrine or the Shearwater Petrel might be something to think about. Or if you want to go mini, micro and wrist size, then something like the Shearwater Turn or the Garmin Descent would probably be ideal for you. So in summary, the important things is that you buy the right dive computer that fits you for the purposes and the needs you have right now. If you are somebody on a limited budget, diving once or twice a year, then think of a budget dive computer as a good investment, not as a cheap option. If you're a frequent traveler looking to get some more higher end features, then look at the computers that fulfill your needs, that have the color screens if you want color screens, have the rechargeable batteries if you want rechargeable batteries, are small or big depending on what you're after, but choose the right factor for you. And finally, if you are tech curious, be aware of the different models and the algorithms that are in there, and make sure that you pick up the dive computer that works for you. What I'd like you to do though is drop me some comments below, letting me know what you think would be your ideal dive computer, i.e. not one that's necessarily on the market, but if you could take the best features from all the dive computers that are available and put them into one, what would those features be? Particularly if you're thinking budget, mid-range, and tech curious. Thanks very much for watching this video. I appreciate it greatly. Make sure you hit a thumbs up icon if you've enjoyed the content. Please splash down on the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of what we're doing, but most importantly, stay diving, guys. See you soon.